Phoenix.
Make that ass clap.
Gang, gang.
Help me.
No.
Hi, everybody.
You did this to yourself.
Yep.
Hi, everybody, and welcome.
You chose all these people.
I did. I knew exactly what I signed up for, and I'm here for it. Hi, everybody. I am D&D Jordan Lee, and welcome to the new episode of Ampistrano. Words just gave up. Listen, leave me alone. It's episode 24, the Creeping Gloom. This is gonna be a great show, y'all.
Oh, man, it's gonna be awesome. Let's go.
Out of here. So unhinged. It's gonna be great. Before we get started, though, let's do a quick go around. Let's start with Robo.
It's me, Robo Goblin. I wasn't ready. You can find me at TTRP Gibbs on Twitch, Twitter, and Hive, and I'll be here. I do want to mention that we are running tomorrow on my channel, TTRP Gibbs, Coboa, which is an all South American and Latino production team, complete project made by South American and their cultures. And we're gonna have it was gonna be two parts. The first part is gonna be on my channel, TTRP Gibbs, and the second part is gonna be on Utopia's channel. So we're gonna have like Brandy's GMing, Brandy Rose is GMing. We're gonna have Randy Alvarenga, Katrina Dennis, and Chris Colon as the players, and it's gonna be awesome. So drop by. It's gonna start at, I want to say, 11 my time, which is 11 p.m. PT. Yes. So just drop by if you can. I know it's
AM?
Easter or whatever.
AM or PM?
At 11 a.m.
Okay. That's what we'll do.
No, it's not going to be at night. No, this is going to be at night.
I was like 2 a.m. Eastern time. Great.
No, but yeah, if you can drop by, that's all. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Robo. Also, we need your captions when you get a chance. It wasn't capturing, but that's okay. Let's jump over to Duval, and I know you have an announcement as well.
I do. Hey, everybody. My name is Jacob Plink, Duval King Jacob on Twitter and Instagram, and I have a Hive account too that I don't use at all. But you can follow me there if you want to. That's totally fine. And typically found over on the Amphitheater channel that I co-founded. We're doing a bunch of really cool shit over there, so follow that also on Twitter and Twitch. And also the Dungeon Master for a little show called Duval and Dragons, which actually would typically be episode 52, was typically, or supposed to be, tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. But like there's this Easter thing and people who want to have like dinner with their families and stuff like that, and which is actually totally fine, but like I'm gonna make fun of them anyway because I'd rather play D&D, though I do love my family, most of them. I'd rather play Dungeons and Dragons with my friends if I'm being very honest. However, Maddie and myself have decided to do a bit of a one-on-one session for a show that he's bringing back for season 2 called Backstory, which is a one-on-one interview where we dive deep into the backstory of people like us, TTRPG creators, and learn about the people behind the screen or in front, depending on who and what you are. So that'll be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time over on twitch.tv/SoManyGames. So if you're like, why is he like this? A good opportunity to find out.
Heck yeah. Awesome, Duval. And Fair.
Hi, I'm Fair. I have nothing to plug. So I don't.
Hire Fair for shit, so that way. Do it. Sorry, go on, Fair. I'm gonna hide.
Okay. I quit the game. Bye. So this is an on-site. This is like an on-air quit right now.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Fair. I'm playing Theodora Shadestein, your battle master fighter, and this is Sparky.
Yay!
I'm still very obsessed.
I mean, valid. That is very valid.
My and Theodora's pronouns are she, her, and Sparky's pronouns are, I would say he, they.
Nice. I think that's a good start. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm playing Lodora. He's a Toralite cleric, and we both use he, him pronouns.
And the big bad, but yeah. So...
Yep. But April's not here, so I can tell everyone everything. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, tell us everything right now.
For sure.
The Lodor's social security number, because he's an old man. So he's gone disability. And no. Anyway.
Anyways. So a couple quick things. If you're looking for something to tune into for tonight, I do want to send a recommendation. At 7 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/criticalbard is Han Unte, a Skyrim one-shot. Ellie, Siam, Brandon, Marquis, Critical Bard are going to be in a one-shot led by Jesse Jurdek through the world of Skyrim. I'm a bit biased because I'll be running production. So I'm super excited for what is planned. I'm going to pop up the promo real quick. It's phenomenal. The artwork is so good. It makes it feel like it's a storybook. I can't wait for you all to see it. So that'll be tonight. And then there'll be some more information coming out about other things in regards to that. But you should go check it out. It's going to be a fun time. As you may have noticed, we are down a Blackstone. Sin will be out both this week and next week, but don't worry, they'll be joining us for Duval's final episode on Saturday, April 22nd. We are also unfortunately down in Oria. April is having some weather in her area, so that is preventing her from joining us today, but she will be back next week. We love and miss them both and cannot wait for their return. We are now 3 patrons away from our all-familiar one-shot. So if you want to join our Patreon, support our cast, we have a number of fantastic goals that are up, including a Bridgerton one-shot, Robo doing a Spelljammer one-shot, Fair DMing. I cannot wait for this to happen. So it's going to be a fun time. Plus, I really want to get that artwork of our familiars because they're so cute. So go check that out on our Patreon.
You want this in art. You want
do.
it.
You do.
And also, my one-shot idea so far is just going to be a fuck around at like Coachella or something.
Hell
so if you want that,
Fuck yeah.
Sounds fantastic.
it's Faychella.
I love it. I'm here for it.
Mm.
Special thanks to Sphinx 7, Mama Strange, Fluffy Snowfall, Chris Gideon, Buzz Lightyear, and our newest patron, Lily42. Thank you so much for your support.
Yay, Lily!
Also, as part of our Patreon, we are going to be doing a Q&A with Duval and I. We're going to be chatting about Weldor and things in the TTRPG space. And then also Weldor's Interlude, which will be fun to do. Anything else before we dive into today's episode? No? All right.
No.
I hate it. And without further ado, let us go beyond the veil of Ampistrano.
Does that
Oh,
mean that
shit.
We're
you just
back.
travel?
Wow.
Is that
I'm
what you
in
mean,
my
Robo? You
slut
travel?
era, Chad. So
Just
Wow.
a statement. A statement. Robo is out
You're-
here today,
you're
everybody.
first. All
I
right.
love that he said that and then immediately muted himself.
Yep.
Right, like no additional context whatsoever.
Anyways,
Great episode, everybody. Good night.
Okay. So, when, Lord, when last we left our adventurers, the group had bargained for Oria's pearl, which had been returned from Ursula. Checking to make sure that the strange humanoid that is Ursula had not used the pearl in any way, Oria made contact with a spirit of sorts that presented themselves as a blue butterfly. A small discussion was had about Oria's potential and that she may be holding herself back. The vision ended, and the group discussed the spirit power that they had been manifesting a few times. Oria and Blackstone connected for a moment. Theodora and Sparky, her blink dog, connected. However, more taxing for the group. The group appeared and made contact with Deidre back in Ilpin, for just a matter of seconds. Our adventurers then escorted Anders, Thomas, and Gerald back to their farm and found the entire place rotted, dilapidated, and forgotten. The familiars all began acting sluggish, and the party quickly decided to do some experiments. Oria and Blackstone popped into the Vale and noticed what appeared to be several falling stars that were being pulled into a black hole. Upon further inspection, Blackstone noticed a large yellow eye, which shoved them both back to the material plane, but not before they both took some damage. As the party was about to split, the upstairs window in the farmhouse burst open with a praying mantis-like creature with crystal wings and Clara's head on its body. Oria and the group made quick work of it, but not before suffering several hits themselves. Blackstone reached out to Clara, who was barely hanging on. The creature was defeated, and Clara, exhausted, was saved. Before succumbing to sleep, Blackstone was shown a memory of Clara picking flowers in the field, around the boundary of the Genora wetlands, and coming into contact with a strange flower. The creature began to dissolve into the acid, and that is where we pick up our story. Evening has settled in, as the 3 moons now are high in the sky. Stars dot the clear sky, blanketing it with silver and celestial light. A cool breeze moves through the farm, and all of you can hear the barn and farmhouse creaking ever so slightly. The smell of acid is still present as the mantis continues to dissolve, burning a mark into the front of the house. What are each of you doing at this point?
I think that Toby is helping to, get rid of the carapace or whatever it's left from the mantis, and just trying to do druidcraft on the ground to just make it a little more pretty, to just not have all the whatever it is, and just have pretty flowers or something like that.
Okay.
Didn't the carapace turn to sludge?
Yeah, it's
Oh, it
been,
did?
It's been turning
Yeah,
to
it turned into
sludge
sludge.
and acid and kind of muck.
Slowly.
Yeah, I remember
melting.
because I snowboarded.
You did. You did.
Amazing.
But is it like completely dissipating or just?
It's turning into sludge. I mean, like every bit of it is turning into that. But you do concentrate to cast druidcraft, trying to connect with the land around here, and your magic doesn't take.
Okay.
It's similar to what happened last session when I mentioned the sunflower. It revitalized and then immediately went back to being just kind of rotted and dried out.
Okay.
It's very strange. Clara at this point has been moved into the house. You all have overheard Anders vehemently saying, Gerald, she's getting your room, and Gerald sleeping on the couch downstairs. But you do see that lights are being lamps are being turned on, candles are in the windows, the house is being lit up. And several, Thomas is moving several blankets towards the barn. Having offered up the barn loft, there's not enough room in the house, especially the state of the house currently, for you all to sleep. But there's a nice loft above the actual, their equipment and stuff that they are offering all of you for the night, since this is now evening and it's been a long day.
Just a quick question.
Sure.
So I do feel that my magic is coming from me. It's just not taking here.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems to be almost like it's being siphoned off elsewhere. None of it's taking.
Okay. So I'll just turn to Diadora and Welder and just say, has anyone, dealt with this before?
Like this, like the sludge stuff? No.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I was gonna say the only thing that kind of, and I think we talked about this before the creature arrived, is that, I mean, we saw this in Illipin with that giant crystal, how it sucked the life and spirit out of people. And it seems similar to that.
So do you think that these crystals are corrupting everything?
That's what it feels like to me.
I think maybe they were created to corrupt. That's their intent. Because we also, before we met you, Toby, underneath the castle there was we found these crystal trees, and they had also been corrupted, and they were set to be buried in, were they going to be buried, those trees, crystal trees, or they were just given to people?
One had been buried, but Deidre mentioned that, especially with the news that came out about Pithy Weather, they basically were removed. One had been planted, and one had been one had been removed.
Yeah, there were 2 trees, but they had both been corrupted by some magic, and they'd cleansed them. But I think, you can never be too safe. And this seems, I mean, maybe this was what those trees were supposed to do.
Are there any trees here around?
There are definitely trees not in this immediate area. They're kind of sparsely spread. It's basically, there's this farmhouse. Honestly, it makes you think of your home, except instead of it being wrapped around and kind of guarded by the trees, this is an open plains. It's got wheat that is dead and rotted around it. It's on the crest of a hill. Down further is where, like, the creek that Claire had mentioned she had been picking flowers from before whatever happened. But there are some sparse trees around, but they also are looking very dead, dried out, almost petrified, without obviously the intent of the basilisk that happened. Just very fragile.
I think Deodora would also just clarify that she means, like, not real trees, but like crystal trees, like trees that were made out of crystal.
Okay.
But she'll also say, I think tomorrow we should go look at the spot where Clara was picking flowers. We were supposed to do that, but, things happened. But we should go check, because I think maybe she found whatever is doing this, and it got her too.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. But maybe we should rest for a bit, because that was intense, to say the least.
It was something else.
Oh, I feel fine.
That's good.
I love that. And the puppies just disappear.
Oh, Sparky sad.
No.
So lonely. No.
He took his friends away.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sparky. They just gotta go away. I can't keep them here forever, but I'm sorry, Sparky.
Yeah, I think he gives you very large, sad puppy eyes.
No, stop it. No,
Oh,
Sparky,
my-
no.
Advantage on charisma checks against us.
Yeah.
That should be a thing, actually. Yes.
I agree.
Should I roll psychic damage?
Lord.
That's 10d. That's 10d8. 1 second.
10 psychic damage.
Okay.
Y'all don't mind, I might after we tried to reach out to Deidre as a group, I thought I might do a bit of a follow-up. So this might look a little weird if you're not familiar with sending.
What?
Not
Okay.
that I don't necessarily talk to myself some of the time.
Sending what?
Oh no, I just show you. And he's going to kind of close his eyes for a moment, kind of grab a hold of his spear and just say, "Hey, Dee, your friends are quite helpful, and did a bit of saving of me, myself, and I. Thought it might be worth reaching out and letting you know. Hopefully you can get a good night's sleep."
Immediately you feel a sense of relief coming through that message. And very tiredly. Very groggy. It's good to hear your voice, Waldor. Hopefully they're not causing you too much trouble. I think they mean well. Safe travels, and hope to hear more soon. I'm going to sleep now. I just feel it like cut.
Please don't call back.
I just feel it cut. You're very, very Dee.
You really called her in like the middle of the night, and it wasn't an emergency.
Yep. But he's actually is going to cast Sending again,
Oh Lord. Okay.
but not to her.
Interesting. Okay.
Ari, I don't know if you're predisposed or if something is the matter, but just thought I'd reach out and say hello. It has been some time. Seems like things aren't exactly on the up and up with you. Hope you're all right.
You can feel the magic, it connects. But it's almost like it's not as vibrant or as strong as when you were reaching out to Deidre. And instead it's very kind of crackling static. And you get one word. Friend. In a very... doesn't sound like the Ari that you have come to know. It's almost like the sound of someone who has been screaming for a long period of time, waiting to be heard, and then latching on to the first kind of flotation device around them.
It's about what he expected.
Yeah.
So he'll burn another 3rd level spell slot.
Oof. Okay.
Don't worry. I'm coming. Friend. Family.
You can feel the magic again taking. And in your mind for a moment, it's in a kind of sepia tone, but it's a fragment of a memory of 5 adventurers on the road from her point of view. It's kind of shaking. It's not concrete. You can see the edges of it. It's like those old-time photographs. It's worn away, burned at the edges. But the section where a much younger Weldor and a much younger Deidre have just the faintest of color. Just the whispers. And then it cuts.
And he'll kind of look up at Theodora and Toby. So that's kind of what it looks like from one side, I suppose.
What did you just do?
I think he just talked to
Communicated.
himself out loud a lot.
Oh, yeah. We heard that.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. But that talking to myself is a spell that allowed me to communicate to both Deidre and, in a way, Greenwich.
I think at this point, Deodora will look to see where Aurea is and make sure she didn't hear that.
Earmuffs.
I imagine you all have been kind of having this
He is the
conversation
big
as you're
bat.
moving into the barn and moving into the loft. You can see that Cal immediately fell asleep. Blackstone is doing...
After all that hard work he did.
I know, right? Damn it, Cal.
Blackstone is going into some kind of sentience. You can see that while they're not active, Corbin is kind of crawling all over him and trying to mend little areas that Blackstone was hurt during the day. Kind of has pulled out off his little scarf that he wears because he wears a very similar outfit to what Blackstone wears.
Gotcha.
No, it's the exact same. It's
Yeah.
just tiny. It's the exact same outfit.
But Corbin has removed his nice scarf and has pulled out this kind of rag, and it's just kind of gently kind of wiping at some of the sweat that's on, like, underneath the mask of Blackstone, and just trying to give a little bit of comfort. He kind of looks at all of you as you're all kind of settling in, and kind of gives you a little nod. You can kind of see a slight annoyed look as Sparky is kind of popping in and out around Blackstone. Aurea has also gone to sleep, seemingly not have heard the conversation, exhausted, although didn't take much physical damage in battle today. Took a different type of strain. Leaving the 3 of you rather, to the 3 moons and the clear sky. The loft is comfortable, it's not massive, but there's enough hay, and they've pulled together some blankets and stuff to give you all some room. They've also given you, there's not much, but they've given you some bread, what salvageable fruit they could find on this farm. as well as some meat as well. It looks to be like it's not very flavored, but it is some chicken that they've been able to procure.
Of course. Welder and I did take like spirit point damage, right? Last time?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just say to whoever's awake right now. Are we gonna take shifts before we go to sleep?
I think that considering what just happened, it would probably be best.
Oh, that was Robo asking, but okay. But yes. Okay.
Okay, no los dos.
For candles. All right. I feel like, yeah, we do need to take shift. I'll take the first shift, if you don't mind.
All right.
Sure.
Happy to take second, unless you have a preference.
Oh, I don't.
All right.
Okay.
And yeah, and I'll just stand watch and also be thinking about the spiritual energy and just be thinking about that a long time until I have to wake up Welder and I go to sleep.
Okay.
Waldor goes to lay down. By the way, what do y'all want for breakfast?
Oh, I'm not picky.
All right.
I'm sure whatever you prepare is going to be delicious either way.
Yeah. Yeah, it will.
I'm looking forward to that.
Wait, weren't you going first? I mean, I could go first.
Yeah, Toby,
Oh,
you're going
it's before
first
that,
to
oh.
watch.
I think
It's like, okay then.
It was before that. I'm sorry.
so much. I think I'll take first watch then.
Okay. I tuck Toby in.
All right. So whoever is taking first watch, why don't you make me a perception check for me, please?
Oh my god, it was so cute.
It was fucking adorable. That's what it was.
All right. Take very much advantage. 24.
24. Okay. Your watch, nothing happens. Moons are in the sky. You're downwind from where the kind of praying mantis has been turning into further sludge. And the acid smell isn't as strong where you all are. You have a perfect view, though, of the area around you. You can see, from a different perspective, the kind of ridge that this farmhouse is on, the surrounding dead wheat. Further down, you can see the creek meeting, heading westward, further into where you can tell the trees shift from oak to more mangroves and those wetlands. That home is so close. It's still a couple days away, but you're so close to it and getting back to it. Nothing happens though. You see the light slowly turning off in the house as kind of everything's going to rest.
And like no sounds of wildlife at all.
No.
Just every once in a while the wind, if there is any.
Yeah, there's a breeze. And with that you do hear the wood creak in the house. And every time it does happen, you do see kind of the trail of the wheat being pulled off of its stalk. Just kind of watching it fly up into the air, moving forward, going on to whatever journey is going to be taking it across Ampistrano. But other than that, there's no other sounds of wildlife outside of your little area.
All right.
All right. Who's next for watch?
I believe it, since they accidentally swapped, he'll go wake up Toby.
Okay. All right.
I'm awake. I'm awake. Apologize. No.
No need. Long day.
Yep. It was a long day. I'll keep watching. And just
All right. Don't have too much of a good time.
I won't without you.
I think he turns and like is a bit surprised about that. He just nods with a bit of a smile and goes to lay down.
And I just keep watch.
Toby, go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh, awesome. Perception.
Yes.
4.
4.
Natural 1.
Okay.
I mean, perfect. Honestly, the dice tell the story.
Probably because did I say something weird? Well,
it's
Toby's
the-
thinking, was it weird?
It's the neurospiciness of all of a sudden in the dead of night remembering something from like 3 years ago that was said. Then you're like, why the heck did I say that? Like,
just staring up at the ceiling, wondering about every decision you've made after that point, because it's
I
all
should
been
call
mistakes.
my parents more often.
Yeah.
man.
What the hell did I just say?
Yeah.
Is that weird? Okay.
Your watch, again, nothing eventful. Besides, obviously, this deep life crisis that you are now facing. With these thoughts, they're kind of nighttime demons we don't really talk about, truthfully. So you're having your own kind of battle with that. Keeping an eye on things, though. Goes by just fine. You can see that some of the clouds are moving in, obscuring the moon in the center. As they're kind of moving in, it seems to be rain clouds. But other than that, nothing.
Okay. I'll just before my watch ends, I'm gonna go ahead and cast Speak with Animals as a ritual.
Okay.
And to talk to Sparky to say to that they wake up Theodora because I don't want to. Because she'll probably be mad at me. And it's better to wake up, being woken up by a dog than somebody else.
Okay.
That's totally valid.
Why don't you make a either animal handling or persuasion check? Because yes, you can speak. It doesn't necessarily mean Sparky will listen.
Okay.
So
All right. That's true. I'll use animal handling.
okay.
That's 13.
Okay. Sparky looks annoyed that you awoke them. Because it's like the one time Sparky is not like bouncing around. You can see Oria's displacer beast, like you hear the is not happy that you woke up Sparky.
Back like arched up.
Yeah, just kind of like giving that eye. Sparky does wake up and kind of regards you for a moment, very sleepy.
Hi, I'm sorry, Sparky. Would you mind waking up Theodora
Why?
for me? I don't want to wake her up because I don't want to make her angry or upset.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
It's not Sparky's voice, it's fine. I have a question for you. Have you heard of the expression, leave sleeping dogs lie?
Oh, this would be my first time.
He's making points. Just saying.
Um,
Points.
I'll keep that in mind for next. I really apologize. And I take out like some of my cheesecake that I still haven't as a treat.
Okay, I love you. Okay, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. This is so good. Like immediately starts jumping all over you for it.
Wow, this was a rough night for Toby.
Bad pun is bad.
But Sparky will kind of lick your hand, immediately garble the cheesecake, and then head over to Deodora. Deodora, make a perception check with disadvantage.
Oh fuck.
Ah, snap.
Disadvantage is gonna be what's my thing? 12.
12.
Nice.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, 13.
Okay.
I can do math. I'm learning every day.
Oh, so you're sleeping soundly, and then all of a sudden, there's something sticky on your hand. Also feels like something's licking you. And then you connect Sparky.
You know, out of context, that could be taken.
I know.
So
We're
wrong.
starting there, Jordan.
We're not there. Listen. If it makes sense if you didn't know that this would be happening and you wake up, your eyes open and you see that there's a Sparky is eating the rest of the cheesecake out of your hand and kind of looks at you and then looks at Toby.
Your turn.
What's happening?
It's your turn, Deodora.
This is how you wake me up? Okay, good night.
I just didn't want to wake you up, so I thought that Sparky would help out.
Why?
I didn't want to make you upset. That I woke up.
Why would it make me upset?
Because I don't know. You just sleep so soundly, and I don't want to wake you up.
But I said I would do watch, and you're supposed to wake somebody up. Also, oh yeah, you fell asleep first, right? But like, yeah, if we're doing watch, it's okay to wake me up because that's the point.
Oh, okay. I'll keep that in mind for next time.
Yeah.
You just look so peaceful sleeping. All right.
Thank you. It's fine. I could pretty much sleep anywhere, so it's fine. But yeah, go back to sleep.
All right.
I like hear Toby snoring and maybe like try to turn him over so he stops.
Sure.
Just like,
You
please,
prop up
please
a
no,
little bit
please.
more hay so they're
Yeah.
like up a bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check for your watch.
Is Sparky helping?
Of course. He's slightly distracted because of the cheesecake, but yeah.
Oh, that one's cocked.
Cock.
Okay. Cock. 15.
15.
Great minds.
Again, it's on brand for us. I'm not even going to say anything. So you see the sky's color slowly changing. The moons are moving further on the horizon now as you can kind of see there's a bead of light as the sun is starting to get ready to rise. Nothing happens on your watch. You see the farm illuminated. The mantis is no longer there. There's a large area of sludge in front of the house. Think of like kind of the chalk outlines when it comes to when we were kids. Maybe I was the only one that did this, but when we were kids and people would go around you with the chalk and then you would have like that kind of outline.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like, except it's wheat, and then the sludge, it's still kind of smoldering. You can tell from even your vantage point that there's some kind of acid is still kind of just slowly burning, very slowly, but it's down, you're downwind from it, so you don't have to deal with the smell. But it's quiet.
I think as the sun starts to rise and I'm like taking all this in, I won't like wake my companions or anything because, like the night's over. So, there's no sense in like waking people up. But I think I'll just like enjoy like the sunrise and maybe do some quiet exercising, like running around with Sparky, and just sort of like, just kind of like examining the perimeter, just making sure.
Sure.
Patrolling.
Yeah, you do a patrol. Sparky is accompanying you the entire way. Seemingly trying to also look for wildlife. They seem very confused that there's no like even insects or birds or something like that. They seem very confused, but they don't seem like they're getting sluggish like they were yesterday before kind of the action was happening. It's a very peaceful morning and just you.
Can I try to connect with Sparky again?
Sure.
Mine is +2, right?
Mm-hmm.
17.
You feel yourself reaching out, and after a couple of moments, and it's not because of you, you can tell Sparky is like excited, new day kind of feeling. Kind of like you said the W word of walk. Just very excited to kind of move out.
He can't hear you, but I straight up looked at my dog.
Oh, I know. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have
I
said
literally had a panic attack
Yeah,
just
I was
now.
like,
You're like, the O word is what is the
yeah,
the
that's a
one for me.
dangerous word. But after a couple of moments and seeing that you're trying to do something, he kind of stops in his tracks, circles 3 times, and sits back on his haunches and looking at you, and you can see almost little, like, your soul lines meeting and connecting in that moment.
What does Sparky's soul look like? Ha. Uno reversed the question on you.
Got him.
Got her.
So, Sparky's soul, it's one that is, it's almost like lightning in a jar. It's just constantly moving. It's not smooth. Around him is yellow, and there's almost this subtle static that comes off of him as you can see even in his kind of soul form, he's still bouncing around every now and then, and it's this little popping. Honestly, he is his own thunder and lightning storm to your kind of silence but thoughtfulness. Working together. There's also the scent, it's slightly strange, but you get the scent of like lemons. Like there's a citrus kind of smell along with him. And he's just looking at you very expectantly.
Do you see or hear anything? That's what I say to do like the little connection. I don't have voice mod, so I can't do it. I can't see.
You get the image back in your head, and seemingly he's also viewing the area and just seems to be confused. And then he keeps looking towards, like, it shows an image of the forest going into the Genora wetlands.
Like, I get the sense that he wants to go in there.
That, and with the 17 that you rolled, just asking, like, basically when you're leaving. Like, when are we moving on, kind of thing.
I want to get away from this creepy place.
Yeah.
I think I'll say to him, we have at least one more thing to do here before we can go. But hopefully by the end of the day, if not tomorrow.
He kind of just nods. And then here's like a little bit of movement, and you can hear a popping noise as he kind of appears by Oria's displacer beast, and immediately just starts like popping on her, like, get up, time to go, kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Just immediately distracted.
just be like, okay, we're doing that. I got my answer. I'm not happy with it. I'm going. Okay, bye.
Gotta get Claude. I'm sorry. I've disappointed my dog.
We've all done it.
Okay. I do it every single day. He's a constant disappointment.
Valid.
I'm a constant disappointment for him. Okay, yeah, I think after that I'll just sort of rejoin the group and just start. Yeah, I guess I'll start like, packing up my things at least. Just waiting for people to wake up, and then we can figure out like where we're going, what we're doing, to see about like whatever's in this like flower field.
Okay. And everyone's slowly getting up in their own way.
Waldor, I guess we didn't make a fire because we're inside.
Yeah.
So he'll get up pretty early and go and see about the dwarves and see if they got like a stove or whatnot.
And I will say this, you all got the benefits of a long rest.
Thank motherfucking God.
I realized I had not said that. So
it's fine.
Yes, you do get the benefits of a long rest. That does not restore your spirit points, so if you did lose spirit points, that does not recuperate them.
Okay.
So, as a heads up. You come into the house and Anders is awake. You see Gerald has probably fallen off of the couch and is now lying on the floor. Does not look like he slept well at all. But Anders it's not that they have about like a stove, but they do have like a hearth, which they have like a pot kind of slowly brewing. It looks like they're slowly cooking up the leftover like chicken that they have and trying to again salvage the bread that they have. But Anders does kind of regard you as you come in and quickly tries to pour you some tea. It's not great at all. It's pretty bad.
I can't spare the dying on the tea. No, rejuvenate the leaves. No. Have you ever heard of a frittata before?
A what?
I didn't think so. Is chicken almost done?
I mean, yeah. You can see he kind of lifts the pot and it's kind of like a porridge. Yeah, it's again they don't have much, but you can see they're still trying to give some kind of hospitality, even in the meagerness that they do have. They have some rice in there. There's some very bland looking chicken, some bits of corn and some like celery and asparagus, but again, very like small chopped. From what they were able to gather, having not been here for a few weeks.
All right, maybe I can spice some things up for you. And he's going to head over to like I assume it's a small kitchen area. He's going to start chopping up some small tomatoes, basil, and some shallots.
Okay.
As well as some bacon.
Okay. Is this from your bag?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Need to specify.
Yeah, for sure. And he's gonna start making frittatas for everybody.
Ooh, yes. Love that. Okay.
You about to kill these dwarves with some spices, ain't you?
Yep. I'm about to blow their fucking minds. And then he'll actually yell out, "Anybody got that weird thing about oregano? Tastes like soup."
No.
I think you mean cilantro, but no.
I do. Good thing I didn't bring cilantro with me then.
And Toby looks deeply offended because he uses cilantro for everything, especially salsas.
I mean, if somebody can't eat, this is Theodora talking, but also
Yeah.
this is my opinion. Just kidding.
We are the same.
I mean, honestly, like, so sorry to those people who can't eat it, but I guess they're just built different. And that I don't mean that in a good way.
Mm.
Oh no, I done it wrong. I do have it back home. I just didn't bring it with me.
Oh. Theodora looks at Toby.
And Toby's like doing the glaring. No.
He
I've
is
never
the big bad. He didn't bring cilantro.
Yeah. Guiding bolt. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm suddenly an assassin rogue. I get to go first.
Call lightning. Call lightning.
How to spell?
Banishment.
You just won.
Banishment. Counterspell. Banishment.
I've never actually had a frittata before. That sounds really good, though.
It's mighty nice. Real quick and easy.
And I just, whenever you're ready, I'll start eating. But I'm also gonna ask everybody, like, yesterday felt pretty intense because I felt like my actual, are we calling it spiritual energy? I guess. I feel like a bunch of it got taken away, just like that.
Yeah, me too.
Could we, I don't know, like potentially have like armor, if that makes sense, for our spiritual energy, so they don't take it as easily as that?
Or some sort of a incantation or magical inhibitor of some sort.
Yeah. Something like that.
In my travels, have I come across anything like that?
Why don't you roll a history check?
Oh shit! The dice tell the story. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Ooh.
Okay.
18 plus 2.
Takes a bit. You find yourself reminiscing a lot more in the last couple of days of traveling with this folks. So a lot of the memories are kind of flooding, not necessarily in order either. But there was something just after Pithyweather defected where it could have been Greenwich. Was exploring one day and seemed to manifest a part of herself outside of herself in a moment of need. Basically creating a small shield. To your recollection, it only happened once, but still it was strange. Because she's not a cleric. So, to manifest something to that and it not have an arcane component, which is more in her wheelhouse, definitely a bit strange.
Yeah, I've only really come across something of that persuasion one time in a sort of a time of need. Sometimes we, on our backs against the wall, sometimes, I don't know if it's fair to say miracles happen, but sometimes some things out of the ordinary that you don't expect, whether that's divine intervention, and sometimes I mean that literally, or something else. But perhaps once we figure out what's going on with Ari, we can maybe find out. Because that's the only time I've ever seen that is when I was traveling with them.
Yeah, I feel like we need to do some more research about this, because that felt really strange that they can just do that. Especially with these creatures like this. I'm sorry. I was just thinking about that.
Who's holding on to the crystal wings?
I believe I know that I think Aurea had wrapped them up
Okay.
Mhm.
and maybe I think put them in a bag, like a backpack.
Okay.
I think is what happened last time.
Okay.
You could say it was just my backpack. I
Okay.
don't care.
All right. And yours is a regular backpack, correct? Not the bag of holding that you all have.
Yeah, because I forgot we had a bag of
Yeah, you
holding.
do have a bag of
I don't
holding.
know. I don't even know who has that.
Toby would have it because Toby
Oh,
was
okay.
the one that procured it.
Yeah, as a player forgot we had the bag of holding, so I think I would just have it in my backpack because I forgot. So
Okay. I will say, did you break it down because the wings were a bit larger? So did you break it down, or how are you putting it in the bag?
I'd say like Ori and I would probably have taken some time to like break it down, and then I think if Toby had mentioned there was the bag of holding, then maybe we would have put it in there.
Sure.
But like again, I as a player forgot that we even had one.
Yep, nope, you have a bag of holding.
Yeah.
Shit. Let me just add
Da, da,
that.
da, da.
Yeah, it looks like everybody forgot we had a bag of holding.
Yep,
You
no,
could-
I remember the question of, hey, how much is a bag of holding? And then you're like, we're getting this, so...
I remember. Okay, I do remember. You know why I didn't remember? I think it's because we did that offline, and so it didn't happen on screen, so I just didn't.
Yeah, no, it's
didn't
all good.
remember. But yeah, I think we would have like even if it was going in the bag of holding, we maybe would have taken time to break things down because it's like we don't really know how these crystal things operate, and so don't want to have them like bound together, you know. So, yeah, that's my answer. Thank you. Final thoughts. Final answer.
Final answer. You
Got it.
win the
Okay.
1 million.
Yes,
That's a really
bitch.
bad. We just filled an impression. As that conversation or that thought process, I guess, is happening. Weldor is kind of maneuvering the cast iron pan and then flips the frittata over. And about 10 seconds later, ready. And gets to kind of plate everything out.
Okay. The delicious smell of frittatas fill the kitchen. Seemingly everyone forgets about the chicken porridge concoction that was being made.
Oh, is it seasoned?
The chicken, no. Absolutely not. No, they don't have that.
Okay, here's my thing. I think Diodora would have had some as like an appetizer. You know,
Sure.
like I'm waiting for this frittata. I need to eat something though right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat
It
this,
tastes like
this chicken
sandpaper.
porridge thing. It shows on her face what she thinks about.
Yeah.
She doesn't. She's just like,
It is
does that?
like it's one of those things when, because I think we all can relate to this, when the chicken has not actually like, it's like all the moisture has been sucked out of it.
Yeah.
Oh my
The dry kind of.
Uh-huh.
It's very
Hate
brittle.
that.
It's
Hate
like
that.
crunch. Like it's just gross.
Yeah.
How you dry out this chicken when I know you boiled it? That doesn't make any sense.
I mean,
How'd you-
how the fuck did
Well,
you
it's
do that?
leftovers,
I know
so
you boiled it.
it dehydrated the chicken. So
I think Diodora like takes a bite, and then if Weldor's looking or Toby is looking at her, it's just like,
Yeah, my passive
Slow.
perception is 21, so I think he just clocks you and just kind of nods, like with just like,
And-
yep.
yeah, she's like chewing slowly as if that's gonna make it taste better, and it's just worse. And I think after a like she'll swallow it because she's like not rude, but
Right.
let's just say if this was like a function and she had a paper plate, that paper plate would be in the trash, face down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Duval knows exactly what I mean.
Just-
Mm,
Press down.
Yep.
It never happened.
yep, exactly. I think she sets it aside and then forgets about it when the
Yeah.
frittata is ready.
Yep, amazing. Yeah, it's like the consistency of like a deep dish pie. Like it's pretty well put together.
Yes.
puts a little finishing salt on the end there.
Okay. Yeah.
Just
Well, Dorbang.
Anders does take a
Salt
small
Dorbe.
plate up to Clara, who's up in the room, not having enough strength to come down just yet. But breakfast is had. Anders is very grateful. Repeatedly. It's kind of annoying how it's hi, I'm calling myself out here. It's the repeated thank you and like, yo, that's enough kind of thing. Like, we're good.
Your Canadian is showing.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not Canadian, but yes.
I know, but they are.
I'm Midwestern, which is we apologize and say thank you about the same. So
So Anders is saying that?
yeah.
Okay, so Toby just turns to Anders and just says, we get it, you're a star. Your apology and all that. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
I think Toby just means like it's all forgiven, otherwise we wouldn't be here to help you.
Right. Sure. And quickly, like, kind of just, I'm gonna go take this up to Clara. Cool. And just kind of excuses himself to go upstairs. Leaving you at this point, Thomas is the only one sitting at the table. Gerald has kind of moved outside and is seemingly surveying the kind of sludge that's
that's because that's where we put his chair.
Yeah. It's valid.
He can't sit with us.
Seats taken.
There's no room. There's clearly like enough room. There's no
like 4 chairs, but no.
But the day is yours.
Well, I think we should go check out the flower field. I would hate to leave them here and something else happens.
All right.
Oh, you
Rather
want me
not
to do
have
that? Oh, now
No.
you're
He's
good.
not
It was just
muted.
very quiet. I apologize. It was very
you're
quiet.
good. I'd rather not have a sequel.
Yeah, let's just go figure this out.
I think one of them was going to, if I recall correctly, one of them was going to show us where this field was.
Thomas
Yes.
was,
And so
yes.
after breakfast, I'll ask either Anders or Thomas, like, if they could take us to where she usually goes to pick flowers.
Yeah, Thomas
Um,
was going to be the one that was going to take you all there anyways.
Great.
Because Anders was going to go with Weldor upstairs. And nobody cares about Gerald, as we know. So, after you all eat, and Anders comes down and quickly starts cleaning up and just making sure everything looks good. You all head outside. It's a dry day. The sun's down. There's a slight humidity, but it's not anything like what you're used to, Weldor, in terms of being out. Except it's more dry. You can feel it's uncomfortable in your armor. Like, things are just not the most comfortable. But
He's used to it.
Yeah, but you all walk, heading down the ridge, and eventually, Thomas does gesture towards the bottom of the hill where you all can continue walking. There's the fence that kind of outlines the remainder of their property and a small kind of creek. And then on the opposite side, it's almost like someone just decided to take the paint to it. You can see that it's not like it's a lush green area, but it's checker marked with green and then yellow. Whether that's the changing of leaves or it could be something else connected to what has been happening here. But you do see that there are a number of flowers in the area.
What color?
So flowers, the colors are ranging from like sunflowers to tulips, lilies, irises. Those are what you are noting at this time.
God, this fucking heat. Could it get any more worse? Oh,
Should have said that.
Yeah, why would you say that?
I
The
just
DM
can't.
is right there. And
The
he can hear
DM is right
us.
there. And was that? And Toby's just gonna say, I don't know. I just feel. I don't know. I just feel really upset right now. Maybe it's the heat. Maybe it's this place. I don't know. I just want this to be over.
I don't blame you.
I don't blame you either, and I don't want you to feel like you can't feel the way you feel, but if you're upset and you're not sure why, maybe you should stop to think about it.
Should I think about it, DM?
Yeah, you can certainly think about what might be bothering you.
Do I have to make a check on this, or?
No, I mean that's something that's it's a strange kind of area because it's something unique to Toby.
Okay.
Because you would essentially be
gotcha.
inciting yourself.
Got it.
So, I will let you and Toby kind of think about what it could be. Sometimes it doesn't always have an answer.
While you're doing that, Toby, I'm now Toby. That's actually what it is. Weldor is going to. I know, right? There are two of them. Is going to reach into a pack and lay down this small carpet. Yeah, the consistency of carpet, more of like a. It's fairly thin, almost like a towel. And it is got covered in green, blue, and white stripes. Lays it out like right in front of the flower bed. And takes out a bit of incense and puts like sticks of them on all four corners.
Okay.
And he said, "Let me check in with Ashura and see if we might figure out what might be going on." And I'm gonna ritually cast divination.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with the spell, your magic and offering puts you in contact with a god or a god's servants. Think you know who I might be talking to?
Yeah.
You ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. The GM offers a truthful reply. The reply might be a short phrase, cryptic rhyme, or an omen. The spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells or loss of, or gain of a companion. And some other details if I cast it more than once per day.
Sure. So what was your question?
The question that I will ask Ashura is, what is the source of this corruption? And where? Well, I guess it's a single question, so let me rephrase. Hold on. What and where is the source of this corruption?
A breeze picks up. This time with a dampness in it. And you can feel it's kind of pulling you towards the Genora wetlands. Like the paper is starting to like crinkle around, pulling slightly in that direction as well.
And is that, or the memory refresher, is that on the way to Vybrin?
Vybrin's in the Genora wetlands.
In the, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Seems like the wind is perhaps potentially pulling you home.
Yep. Well, this little detour, I suppose, is more double down my plans to head back home. Because it seems that whatever this is, it's It's in the wetlands. Vybrin's right in there.
Got it. So we might be heading there now, then.
I think that would be wise. Unless, and to be fair, this is sort of a conflict that you're just sort of jumping in on. So don't feel like you're required by any means.
I mean, Vybrin was. We were on our way there anyway. And we, like, not just to find you, but because we heard there were people going missing. And we wanted to see if we could help in some way.
Well, the more the merrier then.
Before we go, I just want to, like, do just, like, even just the most perfunctory, like, just, like, kind of patrol of this field, just to make sure, like, we're not missing anything. Because, like, yes, the corruption is coming from the wetlands, but, like, what happened to Clara happened here.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to, like, just leave something.
Totally understand that. If you want to go ahead and make an investigation, and yes, you can do it with advantage because I know Sparky will be helping you. So
yeah, thank you.
I already knew that question was going to be happening.
I'll go ahead and cast guidance as well on.
My one die just went somewhere.
Bye.
I don't know. It just
So that's a +4, correct?
Add a d4.
Add a d4. Yep.
There we go. I am gonna use an inspiration die because I really want to get good on this.
Get good.
Okay. And you said investigation?
Yes.
Okay, I don't add anything to that. But with all my die, I rolled really well, thankfully, because the original roll was crap. So that's 18.
18.
Nice.
Thank you for the guidance.
You search throughout this area. Thorough. You know what to look for, whether you know exactly what it is or not. You're looking for something out of place here. Nothing. Nothing is here.
Do I see, well, I guess it's been a while, so this probably...
You know what?
I was going to ask if there were any, like, tracks or anything coming into the field where Claire was, but it's been a while, so it's probably gone by now, maybe?
Make a survival check, because I know that, I believe, is better for you, correct?
It's way better for me. I don't add anything to investigation.
Go ahead and make a survival check.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
That is a 22.
Okay.
Damn.
Doesn't take you too long as you're kind of looking through the wheat and blades of grass and flowers. At first it looks like it's almost the openings of like little ant hills. But then you notice it seems like it's more so tracks. A couple weeks old at this point. The dirt nearby has been freshly turned. Something was here. And it moved into the wetlands. From what you can tell with these tracks, having 4 legs, pincer-like, and one that seemed to slither. You can see the trail. It gets lost as it crosses the creek and moving into the wetlands, but you are able to pick that up with a 23.
I will relay that to Toby and Weldor. Say it looks like something was here and then left. One looks like our praying mantis friend. And the other, a serpent of some kind, maybe.
Like 2 separate creatures? Or just one?
It's 2 separate creatures. Like, so there's tracks here, that look like pincers, similar to what the creature we just fought.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are other tracks leading into the wetlands, and it looks like it's a creature with no legs, so that leads me to believe a snake of some kind.
That's just wild.
I think maybe Clara, she was corrupted, but I think the source of the corruption was the creature that we fought, and maybe she was out here picking flowers. Maybe it was on one of the flowers that she picked, or it bit her or something. I don't know.
That's something we can check, actually, before we go.
We should.
I wanted to
And then-
say hello in person before we go anyway.
Yeah. And then I think we should leave quickly, because whatever
I
else
agree.
is out there has gone into the wetlands.
Especially since it's already been a few weeks.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I think based off of the time, I haven't been home in almost a month. So
Yeah. Do y'all want me to ask the flowers about this?
sure. Can maybe see what they saw. I'd help connect the dots even further.
All right. I'll try.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast Speak with Plants.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna it feels like a lot of breeze around Toby, and you start seeing like silhouettes of all the plants here.
Mm-hmm.
And until it actually focuses on every single plant that is in a 30 feet radius around me.
Okay.
And I start, and the silhouettes start, gaining color, and they start looking like actual plants. And I just look at one of the flowers or anything that's close to the tracks that we see, and ask them, "Hello, friend. Do you know what sort of creature was this?" And I point to the tracks.
You feel your message connecting. But there's no response. In fact, as your magic actually, it's almost like you're reaching out to pick the flowers, although it's more of a mental communication.
Mm-hmm.
The petals fall from the flowers around you. Dead. Not able to answer or make contact with you. The spell did not work.
I'm sorry. I turned to all the plants. I can't communicate with any of the plants here. Something's preventing me.
Likely that corruption.
Let's go ask Clara about this, and then we'll head towards your home.
All right.
I think as we're walking, I want to sort of put a hand on Toby's shoulder and just say, "Hey, don't worry about it. It's the fault of whoever did this. It's not a reflection of your abilities."
Okay, so Toby is just head down and say, "I just can't fucking help anyone now."
That's
not true.
In unison. You've helped everybody all the time. You help us all the time. The first time we met, you helped us. not having a bad day doesn't mean you're not helpful at all.
And besides, I don't know if I would have been able to help get Clara back without you.
I don't know much about that, but I just feel like, oh, there's something here.
We're getting closer.
Yeah, we're gonna find it and we're gonna take care of it. Or find somebody who can, if we can't.
And in the meantime, you should have some tea. Not my tea. Not that other tea.
Could we, like, leave them some, like, real food or, like, some seasoning or something? Because that porridge was really, really bad.
Theodora, I'm already on it.
Oh, gosh. Thank you.
I love this.
Okay.
He's been thinking about leaving them tea from the fucking beginning.
It doesn't take you all long to get back to the farmhouse. It's pretty quiet. Anders is kind of just has carried Clara down, seemingly has dusted off the kind of rocker chair that's on the porch, and has her kind of sitting there. She looks exhausted. Like she has not slept in days, weeks. She's got large kind of bags underneath her eyes. Her blonde hair, now that it's more so in the light, you can see it's frayed, it's dried out. It's almost like just the vitality of her is just very low. But she does smile kind of weakly as you all come up the ridge.
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
How you feeling?
I've had better days. Doing better though, thanks to all of you. Sorry my brothers have caused you trouble.
I mean, speaking for myself, no trouble.
Bit trouble. Gerald was the worst, by the way.
He usually is.
I think maybe was it trouble? Yes, but I understand why they did it, and we were willing to help them because none of it was fair to any of you.
Thank you.
They should have never been put in that position where they had to steal in order to get something that would help you.
You're very wise.
People keep telling me that.
Maybe because
Must be
it's
true.
Yeah, maybe because it's true. I can imagine you all have questions for me.
Yes, I do actually.
Sure.
We were just at the field where you were and noticed some track marks leading into the wetlands. Was wondering, what do you remember from that day?
Not much. It was evening, I think, too. I wanted to do an evening walk before I went to bed. At the time, it was a full moon, so decided to go out, and it had just rained, so there was dew all over the flowers and life. Just started picking them. They looked beautiful, and came across one that just I hadn't come across before. And it's white, and the center of it is purple and pink. But the stem, it's not green like most of the other kind of wildflowers you'll see around here. But more of like a purple, black. It looked really pretty, and from what I could tell, it wasn't poisonous or anything. I do know my herbs. So I've decided to pick it, and the last thing I remember is reaching out towards it, and that's it. I don't remember anything else besides, and she gestures to Blackstone, who's kind of hanging out in the background, until both them and she kind of gestures towards Weldor, kind of popped up in my head.
What happened to the flowers that you picked? Did you bring them? Were you told you brought them back, or?
I
I'll also
apparently
look
did.
to like her brothers.
I apparently did. At this point, you do see Anders has kind of like sighed and goes around the back of the house, and he pulls this basket, which had been kind of tied together, made out of sticks, dried. All the flowers in it are wilted. But from what you can tell, I'm not going to make you roll perception because I'm going to go based off of your passives. You can see that there are remnants of sunflowers, lilies, irises. There is no sign of this flower that she is speaking of. Either in its kind of dead state or in a vibrant state. It's not here at all.
There's not here at all.
It's not there.
Clara, do you remember, besides this strange flower, do you remember seeing any sort of unusual creature maybe, or just like anything at all?
No.
Or being bit maybe?
I did hear a voice for like a moment before I lost sense of time.
Mind if we take a?
Didn't sound familiar to me.
Do you mind if we take a quick look at you just to see if there's any puncture marks or anything kind of off?
Sure. I'm fine with that. Anything to help?
Cool.
Okay. So you're
Medicine
doing
check?
a medicine check? Yep.
Terrible. 11. Natural 2. I have a +9. Anyway.
She's pretty marked up from the creature. You all, as gently as you could handle her, did have to kind of force her out of this kind of praying mantis thing. She's got bits of sludge, and you can see there's some burn marks from the acid. But you do find something, Weldor. It looks almost like a paper cut. It's at the very tip of her pointer finger. Small, circular little hole. And you can see ever so slightly coming out of the skin a white kind of line. It looks almost like a spider thread. It's very tiny. It's honestly, it literally looks like a needle. Kind of just tapped it.
I'll point it out to everybody.
Have we seen something similar to this?
You have not.
Clara, let me ask you a couple of things.
Sure.
And minor illusion, the rough sketch of the plant that Clara was describing.
Mm-hmm.
Did it look? Can you tell me more about this flower so I can imagine it better?
Sure.
So it looked like this, or did it have like stuff here?
She actually will take. Do you have a quill?
I do not.
What did you use to draw the flower?
It's minor illusion.
Minor illusion. Okay. She concentrates for a moment, and it's a very faint line. It's almost like a highlighter line as she starts kind of complimenting your drawing, kind of saying, "No, it was curved here. The petals were a little bit larger."
All right. It starts getting more and more less of a sketch, and it looks like
Yeah,
an actual
she's
figure.
basically pulling the threads of your illusion. Very, very. You can see it's taking her effort every time she's moving a line. She's moving more and more slowly. But eventually, after a couple of minutes, that's pretty spot on from what I can remember, at least.
This is all we needed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was. Well, do we need to ask her any more stuff? I turn to Theodore and Wilder.
What's your favorite kind of tea?
Lilac.
All right. And he'll reach in and take out like a plethora, like we're talking like 30 or 40 different like tea bags.
Heck yeah.
And it's like should be some mint in there, some hibiscus, chamomile, bergamot, you know, that Earl Grey stuff, blueberry, raspberry, strawberry, chocolate black tea, whatever you need.
Thank you.
And
Anders, can you get the bag? And she has Anders pick it up, but also seemingly kind of gestures towards the house. And he disappears inside for a moment and comes out with, it's kind of wrapped in a loose kind of blanket. But immediately the scent of herbs, wrappings, she's basically giving you all one medicine kit of her creation.
Oh,
nice.
Yes.
While Anders goes inside, I think Theodora rummages through her pack and pulls out like a packet of just spices and be like, I feel like
Do you spice?
Do you use spice?
I know that your brothers at least don't use spice, and they're trying their best, but
It's bad.
I feel like you need good food to heal, so here you go.
Yeah, I'm usually the one that cooks. So thank you. This will help a lot. Is there anything we can further provide to all of you? I feel like we're in a large debt to all of you.
There's no debt.
Not
We
at
helped
all.
you because we wanted to.
Well, that's appreciated.
Oh, I still have some leftover eggs and bacon and some cheese
That sounds delightful.
for the next couple days.
Thank you.
I need to come back and teach him how to make some chicken.
Yes,
Let
you
me know.
do.
If you're ever in Vybrin, feel free to stop by the oh, what did I name my damn tea shop? There we go. Feel free to stop by the Hope in Nature.
I will.
just get some rest, Clara. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you. And she'll kind of nod her head, and you see after a couple moments, she just starts snoozing in the chair. She's so exhausted.
Oh,
No.
buddy.
Just seemingly at peace.
And having the minor illusion of the plant,
Mhm.
Toby just walks out of the room and out of the house.
This was on the deck, so you all were
Yeah,
outside.
yeah, so we're already outside.
Oh, we're all
Yeah.
outside? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was on her little rocking chair, kind of just
Yeah.
looking at everything.
Aw.
Yeah.
We are so south right now. It's great.
Yep.
All that's missing is some lemonade from McDonald's.
From McDonald's.
Not sponsored,
Not
but
sponsored.
could be.
I said
Hit
that's
us up.
awesome.
But it could
Yeah.
be.
At me, bro.
It could be. Hit us up.
Okay.
Sorry, this is off topic as fuck, chat, but I was going off about the McDonald's lemonade earlier
That's
because
why I had
it
to bring
fucking,
it up.
because it fucking hits. Okay.
Yeah.
Lord. All right.
So, give me 10 minutes, everybody. And you just see Bolita trying to help me out. And for the first time ever, you just see me say to Bolita, not right now, Bolita. And I ritual cast locate animals or plants. so I can try to locate the nearest in a 5-mile radius of the plant that Clara just mentioned.
Okay. Your magic goes. Nothing.
God damn it.
I'm sorry, Rovo. You're coming up with really
No,
great
I know.
ideas. I feel so bad.
No.
I
This is...
this is kind of this is more out of character because Theodora wouldn't really know too much about this, but like is this like kind of like the difference between like divine magic and like kind of natural sort of magic going on here right now?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
No, this is totally fine. This is...
Yeah.
I know, I just feel bad saying no to Robo.
I'll
It's really
we'll put
nice.
a hand on your shoulder because he recognizes the spell. It's one that's definitely been cast in his presence many times. Don't worry. You can always try again when we get hopefully a little closer.
Yeah. Whatever. And he just starts walking to wherever this place is.
Okay.
I think this time I don't try to comfort Toby because I feel like, not because I don't want to, but I do feel like he needs to sort of live in this feeling for a moment, if that makes sense. Like, sort of
Totally.
just feel the way he feels. But also, like, you know, as we're walking, just kind of keep an eye on him.
Sure. And as you
Maybe
all...
Sparky runs up every once in a while.
As you all head down the winding road, eventually finding cover beneath the trees, back on track finally after a couple of days, heading to Vybrin. That is where we're going to take our break.
Hey,
Yay.
let's go.
So we're going to take a quick 10-minute break, and then we'll be back here for some more chaos as stuff's happening.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. But yeah, we'll see you all in just a few minutes.
Thank you.
Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey. It's a brand new day. On the sea coast, the allies will help with blades and bows and magic as well. Hey, hey. Heroes on their way. Fighting together against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get your wall and there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions.
That clapper.
Easy to.
I'm bored.
We can go scream at the cat for another hour.
Nah, I'm tired of screaming at the cat.
Shut up with that! Be bored no more with 1985 games. Enjoy their vast variety of products and help bring your tabletop to a whole new level. With easy-to-use dungeon sticky notes. The deck of stories holds prompts and adventure hooks for any setting, and thousands of cutout game pieces with their dungeon craft.
You've come all this way for nothing, fool! The princess is mine! You'll never get away with this, Malachor!
Write everything down in your Hero Notes journal and start your adventure today! Visit the World Wide Web address 1985games.com and find many helpful products such as their Dungeon Craft series, battle maps, deck of stories, miniatures, dungeon notes, and now VHS dice. Again, that's 1985games.com.
It's almost like when you smell something baking in the kitchen. It's the identity of this cheesecake again. Okay.
Okay, so
it's just kind of slowly wafting up, and you
Basically-
see it has like a hole in it. The soul of the cheesecake has been hurt, essentially. That's what it is. Like,
Okay,
you just
so-
hurt the soul of the cheesecake.
like, I feel like what we have coming out of here is like the literal.
Fodder.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to our episode of Ampistrano. We're going to dive right back into it. If you're just joining us, the group slept at Hope Farm. They did some investigative work looking at the flowers that Clara had potentially been picking. What that could have meant in terms of the one that was a problem. Weldor and Deodora educated the Hope family about the importance and necessity of spice in food, and they have all started to head back towards Genora and their path proper. Your travel over the next 5 days is long and arduous. You can see around you the environment shifting, going from large oaks to more of the mangroves and other vegetation. Wildlife seems to come back in as soon as you've left Hope Farm. On the 5th day of travel, it's hot, uncomfortably so. Even with the gray skies that are seemingly blocking out the sun, you can hear the buzzing of insects, mosquitoes moving about. Around you, you can see dripping trees with black and gray trunks. Reeds line the pathway ahead on either side, seemingly housing the various wildlife from the majority of your view. Every now and then the reeds shift, and you can hear the splashing of water, its ripples continuing as several alligators, frogs, and other creatures float along their merry way. The scent of sweat, algae, as well as rain seems to blanket the air around you. For most of you, your clothes become slightly sticky from the hot, humid, and damp air. After about 3 hours of travel, the trail splits, one continuing onwards forward, and the other towards the right. As you peer right, you are all at the top of a small marshy hill. Ahead of you, mangroves, red maples, and swamp white oaks dot the area. The path continues forward and joins with a series of wooden planks. Welcome to Vybrin. And before I get into properly describing it, why don't I just show you all what it looks like? As we do have a map. So, Vybrin. A small firefly of a town entangled in the marshland surrounding it, fully becoming a part of this land. There is a large wooden boardwalk that connects various platforms together. These platforms support small cabins or huts above the waterline of the marshland. Small 2 to 3 person boats line the platforms with lanterns posted at either end. Several buildings do draw your attention. On the right, as you're coming in, is a larger building on its own platform. The outside is the same dark wood that you see present throughout the entire hamlet. There are 2 large windows on either side of the building with a counter of sorts. A small boat is docked next to the building. Facing you all is a wooden sign that appears to be actually a tree branch. A small red birdhouse sits next to large letters that read, in common and in Gnomish, Sparrow's Tidings. In the center of town is a small off-kilter shack which seems to be half engulfed by the water and vegetation, tilting backwards away from you all. The shack has become one with a large mangrove, and it's slightly sunken in on the small island it now inhabits. There's a tiny sign that reads, The Weary Wanderer. All of you notice, though, the town is quiet. Weldor, upon your arrival, you see several open windows slam shut. The boats sit quietly, unattended, save for a few fisher people who you see notice all of you and kind of move into their houses. And before we continue, I do want to do a quick shout out to Freckle Sketches, who just took what I have been picturing in my mind and made this gorgeous map. Please go hire Freckle Sketches because they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, but Weldor, the floor is yours.
Well, I suppose officially or unofficially, welcome to Vybrin. Would you like to hit the tavern first?
Sure. It's up to you.
Yeah, that's wherever you think is best. I don't have a preference.
unless you can kind of points out Sparrow's tidings. There's some clothing stores, bit of an apothecary and a market in there. Ignusi always finds some fascinating things to sell, so just something to keep in mind.
This is very quiet around here.
Yeah. Actually, why don't we pop in Sparrow's Tidings first before we head over to the Weary Wanderer? Yeah, we can check on my tea shop.
Oh, you got a tea shop?
I do.
Why wouldn't we just go to your... Why wouldn't you suggest your tea shop first?
Well, because if I know anything, person that's likely the most concerned about my disappearance is Ignucio, and that's where he is. Just a quick pop in.
I poke my head and say, Weldor's back, and then I go to the tea shop.
Weldor.
All right.
There is another thing you notice as you're walking. Several of the houses, they're all using the same wood. A couple of them have kind of a marker on them. Could be paint. But it seems like some of the doors itself has a red marking on it. Of an X. On some of them.
His heart kind of drops a little bit. Were there any when I left?
At that point, no.
Would I be able to assume based off of that there's likely more disappearances since I left?
That's something to ask Weldor.
Hey, Weldor.
Yes. I mean, do you think Weldor would put two and two together with like that, or?
I think that would be an assumption he would validate in a bit.
Sure.
Which he will validate by going to the tavern.
So you're heading to the tavern, not to.
If Theodora did do that, I think legitimately, I think it's like, all right, fine. He knows where to find me.
Okay.
No, that wasn't a joke. She does that.
Yeah, totally. That's how I took it. That's literally how I took it.
She's like, why do we have to go to one place and then double back and come back here? We could just literally, as we're walking by, say, hey, Weldor's back.
Yeah, that's literally how I took it.
What is this?
Yep. So he'll lead them to the Weary Wanderer.
All right. So you all head to the Weary Wanderer. As I mentioned, it's on its own kind of island in terms of this area. There are small outcroppings of little vegetation and stuff, but this shack is so off-kiltered. It is pretty much buried into the ground. You do see that small sign. Weldor, are you opening the door, leading the charge?
He'll point out, because, correct me if I'm wrong, they actually see two doors, correct?
And once you go in, yes.
Okay. So yeah, then he'll yeah.
All right, Weldor opens the door, and immediately you're in kind of like, it feels like a shed. There are two doors in front of you. One is on the left and one is on the right. There is a small little sign that reads, "Choose carefully."
He'll point to the door on the right. Don't go there unless you want to get up close and personal with gators, snakes, mosquitoes, all types of wonderful things in the swamp.
Oh.
And then he'll open the door on the left.
Okay. The door opens to a staircase leading downstairs. Another door. You go through?
Yep.
Okay. All of you can feel the temperature shift. It's cooler in here. But that's probably not what surprises most of you. There's a large bar in the very center of this tavern. The walls lining it are clear, and instead of stone, there's some leaves and branches, but the vast majority of the walls seem to be kind of protected by some kind of force magic, as you all can see into the water around this area. You can see fish kind of swimming around. It's a bit murky. Every now and then you do see a gator kind of just slowly just swimming by. The tavern's pretty quiet. There's not many people here. You do see the half human, half water genasi Aldira kind of in the back. Your section of this tavern, which is in the far back near the stage, it has been dusted. They seemingly have been trying to at least take some care with your area. You do see, the rest of you see a small sign that does read Hope in Nature. Basically, it looks like Weldor just took over half of this tavern and turned it into his tea shop. There's there's a small chair which had like a bucket full of tea that's gone. There's no more tea. Yeah, it's very quiet in here.
You mentioned Aldira. Do I see Seamus as well?
You do not see Seamus, no.
Oh, Seamus, okay. Yeah. And what time? Is it the afternoon yet?
At this point, it's like noon, just after noon.
Noon. All right. Well, happy noon tidings to you.
Weldor, we were wondering where you were.
Oh, out and about.
I thought we had been worrying that you had been one of the... And they kind of gesture around. Taken too.
Well, thanks to these fine folk right here, I just seemed like I was one of the lucky ones.
Well, what if that is true? And you see coming from around the bar, this half human, half water genasi, very pale skin. Their hair looks like normal hair, but there's still kind of a movement and a kind of lightness to them. They have bright kind of green eyes. You see on kind of the sides of their ears, there's ever so slightly these kind of edgations of almost looking like fins around their ears. Wearing, honestly, kind of just, it looks like a bathrobe, but a very nice bathrobe, chill kind of vibe in this area. And she kind of regards everybody. Well, if that's true, and you took care of Weldor, first drinks on the house. After that, you will have to pay, but at least we can do to make sure you all get some food and some drink in ya.
You can put it on my tab.
When are you planning on paying that? Just listen, there were some queries about why you left, and that was one that popped up first.
He looks at the bucket. Is there any money in there?
There's a couple coins.
Takes it out. Puts it on the bar. I pay my tithes.
Right. Sure. And Adir gives you a wink. And quickly goes back behind the bar. So, what will you be having?
I'll have Jordan, do I still feel... I'll have a hard liquor.
Alright, do you have a preference?
Nah, this is my first time ordering hard liquor.
Alright,
You see Deodora and Aurea look at each other over Toby, since he's just a little moment ago. Like, what the fuck? He gonna die. He gonna either die or just be knocked the fuck out after one.
Alright, I think we have a bourbon from, what? 520 that we could possibly pull up? Yeah, I'll go grab that. But the rest of y'all, what are you looking for?
I'll just have an ale, thank you.
Ale? Okay.
And I'll have my usual gin and tonic.
Yeah. The most boring of
Such
drinks.
such a bad drink.
Just kind of rolls her eyes and will go and procure those drinks. Toby, you do see she pulls this kind of barrel out, and it does say like dated 520. Very, very hard bourbon. If you're like me, it tastes like Four Roses. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but we could be. Hit us up, slide into those DMs. McDonald's, slide into those DMs.
Hey.
Theodora, she gives you one of the local ales, which is it's a bit different because it's made from a specific weed, like a buckweed. It has more of a heartier flavor to it. A little spice, which is slightly unexpected, but not. It's surprisingly pleasant. Like it just leaves a nice aftertaste, but also makes you slightly hungry. Of like, oh, okay, this is a nice little like whetting my appetite for something else. And then literally Aldera just gives you the implements to make your own gin and tonic, Weldor, because
not a problem.
Yup.
As a matter of fact, as she sets it, she her, right?
Yep.
Am I right?
You are remembering that correctly.
Cool. And he's already setting out and like mashing juniper berries.
That's why you do that, because I'm allergic to those, so...
It's alright. I don't mind. As always, I appreciate you tolerating me.
Mm-hmm. Somebody around here has to.
Do you serve food here?
Mm-hmm.
Can I have some?
Can I have a food?
Can I have one food, please?
One food, please. Thank you so much.
What would you like? I mean, we got, we can do some roasted pork. We got kind of a fish and chips kind of spread. Of course, now, especially since Weldor is back, Weldor's gumbo. You know, we got a lot of, it's not as good as Weldor's. I will say this because, listen, I have to, under, was a Weldor's Bard agreement. It's not exactly Weldor's gumbo, but it's about as good as Weldor's gumbo.
Well, I'll definitely have some gumbo, and then can I get some of the pork roast for my pup here?
Sure. Do you want skewers, or do you want it just regular, like, kind of bacon?
I like bacon.
Okay. Can do.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
For you.
She immediately leans and she goes, Seamus! Like, starts yelling back to the kitchen.
Have there been any more since the Caspians, the Drillins, and the Vicens?
Can you turn your volume up? You got very quiet.
Oh. Oop, 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 oop. Have there been any more? It seems that there's been more.
Yeah.
But, anything from a timeline perspective?
Well, half the town's gone.
Right.
So, we still have no idea. And she, at this point, she keeps looking at you, Weldor, but every now and then is kind of giving the cautious kind of look to Theodora and Toby. And the rest of the group, just kind of like a wariness of getting into the meat and bones of the situation.
Don't worry, I trust them.
Sure.
And plus, if there's a reason to not trust them, I'll just ask them to go down the door to the right. He kind of just smiles.
That's fair. That's very fair. Yeah, there's been a number. Actually, Liza's been looking for you. Well, half the town's been, well, what remains of half the town has been looking for you. But Liza, I know, has been very keen to discuss this with you in a bit more detail. She's in the back in one of the more where y'all usually meet.
All right. Well, you think it'd be more comfortable for us to head that way, or more comfortable for her to head this way?
She might be more agreeable to have it in that kind of private area. And at this point, Aldera kind of leans forward, just because there are people that are still very much looking towards y'all going forward. And at that point, your passive perceptions pick up. This bar, not very populated, but those that are in it, there's a few people, are very much watching all of you and kind of waited with bated breath about what's going to be discussed. Yes, Theodora.
2 things. While Wildor's having this conversation, and he says 2 doors down to the right, Theodora turns up and is like, "What does that mean? Do you know that 2 doors down to the right?"
No.
Okay, well, if he tells us to go to a door on the right, just don't listen to him.
Okay.
And then I think as I'm eating this gumbo and, they're having this conversation, I'm looking around and watching, the very few people that are in the room, watching us. I do that thing that I do where I stare back at one of them until they stop staring. Just not breaking eye contact, but still eating my gumbo.
Sure. The gumbo's really good too. There's some crawfish. It's one of the, especially compared to what you ate earlier a couple days ago with that chicken. The frittatas were great, but that chicken, oh boy, this is like an explosion of flavor in your mouth. The bacon is freshly seasoned, and it's also got a hint of a spice to it as well. And it's served over rice, and there's even some wow, words just gave up. There's even some shrimp and stuff to the side that you could, if you wanted to, wrap the bacon with the shrimp and stuff. It is really good.
Well, that's for Sparky, so Sparky's enjoying himself.
Hell yeah. Sparky is drooling everywhere. You lock eyes with a blue tiefling with horns that are kind of going down, framing either side of their face. And you can see sitting next to them, there's a small half human, half tiefling child that is also kind of ogling in your direction. And as soon as you make eye contact, quickly looks away, embarrassed of being caught, kind of looking at the newcomers that have come in.
Yeah. I think I'll look around the bar and slowly do that with everybody who's watching.
What?
I see you.
And
just food, severe food aggression.
Sure.
Well,
I imagine you're having some of that sausage and mid chew of just excuse me, kind of looking over at this person of how dare you.
I can't even make fun of Theodora because I also have food aggression. I'm get away from my fucking plate.
Yeah.
Get away from my, don't look at my food.
Look at me.
Get away from me, Oprah!
Okay. Robo, was there something you wanted to do?
yeah, I was just holding my bourbon and drinking it and having all sorts of faces
Yeah, it's strange.
And I turn to Theodora and say, is this actually 520 gold or silver? Or I was gonna say bronze, but that's not a thing. Copper?
First of all, I swap my drink with Toby's, first of all. Cause no. And then we're like, no, I think that just might be what it's called.
Yeah.
Here, have this ale.
Okay.
Try this ale. I think you might like it better.
Okay.
The ale's pretty good.
Oh. Just drink the ale.
I might have something for you. And because since I've been traveling and they just got here, the he has that large sort of tower shield, and then flicks it, and it turns into the tea kettle.
Sure.
And he pours what appears to be this kind of translucent purple looking liquid into a small cup and passes it across the table. Whenever you're ready, it'll, if you'd like it to, it'll help calm you down.
I drink it all.
So the tea that you just drank is tastes of lavender with like a hint of lemon and like a quick kind of spice hit of cardamom. And if you choose to, it will cause you to be under the effects of the calm emotion spell.
Ooh, okay. Can I do that though? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You feel slightly better than you have in the last couple days. It doesn't remove it completely, but you do feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It essentially suppresses the thing.
You just see like a look of relief for a bit on Toby's face, and this is fantastic. Thank you, Wilder.
Not a problem. However, speaking of problems, I definitely need to get the 411 on. It's been happening since I'm gone. But
411 gold? Silver?
Not this particular time, no.
Oh.
It's just, it's
More
a
of a-
euphemism. It means get the information.
Oh, got it.
Right.
Do you want us to help you, or?
I wouldn't mind, but at the same time, I do want you to finish your food.
I mean, they can take it
Not
if they want.
Bring it. Okay.
I suppose we'll go ahead on over there. And as always, thank you so much for your wonderful patronage. Wait, nope, that's the wrong word. I'm the patron right now.
You sure you had enough in that?
It's
gin and tonic,
been a
whatever that
long
is.
few days. Yeah, maybe a bit too much juniper in
Yeah,
here.
might have. Listen, you a little rusty. It's all right.
It's all right.
Can I get some more of this gumbo before we go back there?
Of course.
Thank you.
I'll have it sent to the room, so don't worry about it.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem.
And,
And she kind of holds her hand out, and you see there's like for a moment, kind of circulating in the air, a ribbon of water kind of spiraling and kind of ushering Welder, the way, but kind of giving you a little bit of a fanfare back. You all head to the back of the tavern, a little bit closer to Hope and Nature. That's on the right. You see the small, what does it look like? Duval, why don't you describe what it looks like?
Yeah, sure. So Hope in Nature is essentially a very small, think lemonade stand of like fourth grade lemonade stand. But instead of cardboard, it is made of a fairly nice oaken wood. Sort of it looks a bit newer than the wood sort of around it, and it has that kind of scrawled sign on the top, and in front of the bucket, it's it actually says, like, kind of scrawled out, like almost on like a piece of parchment, take some, leave some. And of course, it, as was mentioned, there were, and he kind of looks as he passes by. That's all he says is because like it is very clear that the people did not take and leave. There was a lot more taken than there was leaving. So he's got some more to make when he gets home. And there's sort of like a latch to like go in behind, kind of like a bar. It's pretty makeshift, but it's kind of cozy.
And on the left, you see that there's a small stage kind of resting up against the side, you can see is what appears to be a kind of a base. There's a small kind of area where you see 2 kind of drums have been set up. And then to the side, you can see it's kind of a twisted metal. It looks like a saxophone, but it's fine. But that's the kind of shape, kind of resting on the chairs. But you all continue backward past this, where there are, again, 2 kind of paths. One goes downstairs, and you can see that there's a small sign that says rooms. So this is a tavern and an inn. And then on the right, you can see that the hallway kind of continues through, continues forward, and you can see that there's a number of doors that are lined by the roots of this mangrove that you are all underneath at this point. And you know Eliza's favorite room is room number 3. The biggest, but also the most private.
He'll do a bit of a gauntleted rap knock.
No response. But you also know that's
Strong.
Eliza's style.
Yeah, like so he'll do the knock and then.
Mm-hmm. You open the door. There's a large kind of dining table in the very center of this room. The chairs look like they are chopped up parts of mangroves that have been kind of pulled together with twine and string. There are small cushions that are on it. But the wall behind where you do see a figure sitting is just water. With, like, at the very top you can see just little peekings of probably where the water line is. You can see that several, like, birds are kind of just chilling up there. A couple ducks, maybe a couple geese. Every now and then several larger kind of fish are kind of moving about this area. Beneath that, though, you see kind of in a chair, hunched over, having various parchments in front of her, a very disheveled human woman. She appears to be in her late 20s with long curly black hair. At this point, she is actually wearing a green kind of armor, like a light green, close to a lime but not as bright. Wearing that, and then seemingly, like, under from the top down, she seems to be wearing more of like a skirt. She seems to have just grabbed whatever was in her closet and kind of threw it on. You can see she has not noticed all of you entering the room, but she's got large bags underneath her eyes, looking exhausted.
He'll just kind of look at her. Only a few weeks behind schedule for our check-in.
Well, hell. And she kind of stands up quickly, looking completely exhausted. Sorry, I know the music got loud.
He's a mimic!
Looking exhausted. And you actually see, like, for a moment, she kind of leans on the table and blinks a couple times and then kind of staggers forward a bit and just gives you the biggest of hugs. It feels a little bit weaker than her usual. And you can see, like, there's a rigidness to the hug as well, because she's immediately taking in the individuals behind you as well.
Right.
Like, oh,
Yeah, he'll hold it, the hug. Don't worry, they're with me.
Well, I mean, if they like the gumbo, then we already know we're on the same page.
Theodora, what is your review?
I mean, I asked for a second bowl. Does that say anything that you need to?
That's a damn good review.
So, Anyway, this is Theodora and Toby.
Pleasure.
And everybody else that's here.
Everybody else.
And you see that Cal is kind of just taking notes of everything that's being seen. Blackso is just kind of curiously looking at things, and then Aurea is just again also still very exhausted and just kind of looking about, although slightly. They're here, but they're not here. It's that my mind is elsewhere kind of thing.
Sure.
What do you think about the gumbo, Cal? No kidding. Cal, what do you think? Cal, you're so quiet.
Oh, no,
God, Cal.
I'm not doing it. Eliza, she steps back and gestures to Albie. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to meet y'all. I'm Eliza. And first off, thank you so much for finding good old Weldor here. I don't know where he has wandered off. Weldor, how dare you? Because I have been through hell these last few months. And by months, I mean weeks. It feels like months, okay?
That's my apologies. Why don't you catch me up and see how I can help? I can see how I can help.
Fine. That would be great. And she kind of ushers for you all to sit at the table. Obviously, I asked this not leave this table because we were trying to stop a panic from happening here. And there's a slight knock at the door, and immediately Eliza clams up, and Eldira just kind of pokes her in. I have the gumbo.
Come on,
I just basically skip over to the door and get my gumbo.
You can see she's put more
Exchange balls.
sausage in there and just giving you a little bit more of a portion.
The bowl is slightly bigger this time.
It really is though. It goes from what was just a flat plate to it's more of a fishbowl. So it's got
God damn.
Yeah, she gave you a much bigger portion this time around.
And Deodora's housing all of that, so not a problem. No food's gonna be wasted.
There you go.
Well then, yeah, things have not been very good since you disappeared. Again, I think Aldira may have mentioned or may not have, but we were wondering if you were one of them as well. Have you caught them up to speed? What's been going on since at least you left? Or prompted you to leave?
Teeny bit. But
What in the hell is that supposed to mean? What do you mean, teeny bit?
well, to be fair, they kind of looks at everybody. Not only just fighting me, but they had sort of their own mission or two to handle. But I did mention the disappearances.
Uh,
And that I've been looking mighty hard to figure out a solution.
Oh, well, we know about the disappearances before we met you.
Well, there you
Because
go.
we saw well, I didn't see it, but wasn't there like a job board or something where we saw?
There's a town crier that
Yeah.
was saying about the news,
Yeah,
that there have been
they-
disappearances.
Yeah, they were talking about it in Illipin, and we thought maybe we could help or just see what's going on. And somebody from Illipin knew Weldor and wanted us to come find him, so it just sort of lined up.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking the dwarves about the Clara's symptoms, because typically how it started was pale complexion, some levels of fatigue, complaints about hallucinations or visions, weird bug bites. It kind of thinks for a second. Do the bug bites and Clara's sort of index finger?
Yeah.
Kind of like Clara's injury, if you will, on their index finger. And then a bit of stomach pain. And then typically they disappear after that. Off
But-
somewhere. Not but physically, but they typically, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan, run off.
To someplace else, or
We're not exactly sure. It's also a bit strange they leave, but all their stuff's still here.
Exactly. So it's not like they're moving out or anything.
Nah, I'm still taking care of the Benier's dog. They left it behind. So we've been taking care of it, going by twice a day, making sure it's fed, cared for, played with.
It sounds like maybe whatever bit them or something. Just based on what we saw with Claire, it's parasitic. So maybe they're clearly not leaving of their own volition. Something's maybe calling them to a certain point in the swamp.
That would make sense. And at this point, she kind of pushes aside some of the parchment and pulls it looks like somewhat like blueprints, a sketch of the town. And on it, red markings. Weldor, you would know that they line up with what you saw out there. There's at this point, about 15 of these markers on various buildings around.
Is there a mark on my house?
You see there was more of a question mark. Just unsure because, and I'll just say this, you didn't fit the criteria.
I wasn't sick.
Yeah, you weren't sick before going missing. You just disappeared. So it was horrible, like, wait, what? Yeah, at this point, who's the last ones that you saw before you left? It's been hot minutes since, and you can see she's going through reports.
That would be the Caspians, the Durlans, and the Vicens.
All right, they're all
They were
gone.
the last three. Yeah.
The Caspians disappeared about a day after you left. The Durlans, and she's gesturing on the map to these houses. She gestures to the Caspians' house, which it is directly next to the shop.
Yep.
On the platform adjacent to it. I'll send you the map after the session so you all can see. The Durlans were to the left of the tavern, and the Vicens, a circular building just behind the tavern itself. So all them are gone. Still haven't heard anything from the Carmelis, the Beniers. And she just kind of hands you a list, Weldor. You know these names. You know a lot of these families. And by a lot, you all.
All. And by a lot,
there's one family on there. He's like, I don't know those motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I don't like those motherfuckers.
You know what? Never liked those fools anyway.
I don't like those motherfuckers. I have a question because it's hard for me to, because we don't have a visual, so I'm kind of having a hard time.
Yeah, I will pop the map in.
But I was wondering if there's like any pattern to the people that have gone missing. Like, did they go missing in like, is it alphabetical? Is there like a pattern into like where the houses are, things like that?
Why don't you do an investigation or survival check?
Okay.
I will let you choose, and I'm popping the map into the Discord.
It's gonna be survival, and it's gonna be a 24.
Okay.
Hey, gang.
No, there's no theme really to it. Because you can see on the map and stuff, like they write dates, and it seems like it's not one portion of the map, although Weldor's entire section is pretty much gone at this point. It is kind of just throwing darts at a board, seeing what hits. Doesn't seem like it's alphabetical because it's jumping all over in terms of at least what probably Oria is reading the list to you. Doesn't seem like it is coming through in terms of alphabetical or even reverse alphabet. Just seems very strange.
Is it all full families?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pattern.
Well, full households would
All
be
of
the
them.
better term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a full household.
Yeah.
But people who are individuals haven't been affected in their household. Like if it's just a single person household,
Got it.
have single people been affected?
There are a couple people on the list that are single person.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I just need it was like, wait, that could fit so many things.
No.
Right.
I mean, like, is it like full households, or is it like this one? Like Weldor lives alone; he has not been impacted by whatever's happening. That's what I meant.
No, you can see that on the list. There are full households of like 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and then there are a couple households that have been impacted that are just 1 and 2. So,
Okay.
no similarity in terms of the number.
Okay.
But good questions, though. But yeah. It's
When these
Oh, go on.
when these people leave, it's just like in the middle of the night. Does anybody see where they're going?
In the middle of the night. We've been pretty much on a lockdown as much as we can be. Ophelia and her husband, they've been trying to help out. We only have like 2 Crowns Guard here, and they're absolutely useless. They, from what we understand, they were at the bottom of the barrel in terms of training, so they got stationed here and they just keep up in their house. That's it.
Where do they come from?
I believe their training was over in Allegris, I believe.
Is that where I'm from?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where
are they?
And she gestures to you can see on the map behind the tavern to like it's at about 2 o'clock. There are these clusters of circular buildings that are on a platform. So
I see it.
yeah, they be there.
Okay, good to know. I trained in Allegris.
Oh, bless you. Just kind of looks at you, slightly relieved, but also a little bit like, oh.
Oh, no, it's fine. I wanted to. But I'm just saying maybe I could help get them into shape a bit.
That would be absolutely phenomenal.
So another thing.
Somebody up.
I know, right?
Bully them.
You had one job. You take care of the job.
All you had to do was watch the fucking door, and you couldn't even do that shit right. What the fuck?
Right?
So,
Eliza, as you know, I don't know if we went down this road together, but I've been trying all kinds of different ailment reducers, teas, you name it, plus some, to try and hold off this infliction. And nothing seems to have taken to this point. However, which is the reason why I disappeared, was I was looking for a bone weaver. Try and make some tea from some of the excess Milton, I guess is a good word for it.
Yeah.
And see if that sort of helps.
I mean, I'll be willing to try anything.
At this point, certainly. Desperate times and all. Is there anybody sick right now that hasn't left?
Well, Kimra disappeared yesterday.
Oh.
And she kind of, you see at this moment, her whole kind of face darkens. That'd be my little sister.
Yeah, he nods.
And,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, you won't have to go far for your next patient, so to speak. And she kind of looks embarrassed and moves her hair to the side, and you can see that there are these 2 marks, much larger than the needle points that you saw on Clara. And you see those white threads lingering off.
if you don't mind me saying so, via your appearance and demeanor, I kind of assume so.
You're lucky I like you.
I very much am.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That there's threads coming out of the wound,
Yeah.
like but like spider silk almost.
Mm-hmm.
That's a horror movie right there, y'all.
Yeah.
It's not like they're like tendrils out, like they're coming out probably
I know,
about
but
this.
still,
Yeah.
Like it's still tug on that. See what's inside. Sorry.
well, seems like as the saying goes, no time like the present. And he takes out like a what's it, mortar and pestle? Is that the
Mortar
word?
and pestle.
Mortar and pestle.
Yeah.
Yep. And he starts to he'll take out because they have a fucking shit ton of this stuff, thankfully. And he'll take a sort of a piece of it and begin to grind it into paste.
Sure.
And then we'll take his tea kettle and pour some water on it.
This might sound weird, but do you mind if I smell you?
I'm sorry, what?
So in case you go missing, it will help us to find you easier. I just need to
I think maybe she could just give us something with her scent on it.
Oh, okay.
Though I'm picking up what you're putting down and I love it.
Yeah.
But it might make her feel uncomfortable to just be smelling her.
Roll persuasion?
I know this, bro.
Oh,
Can I get help
guidance.
action?
Yeah.
Guidance?
Yeah. So roll a d4.
Can I show her Sparky and lower the DC?
Sure.
Look.
Look at how cute he is.
That's a D4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for
19.
19.
Nice.
How about I just give you my scarf? Would that work?
That'd be great.
Right.
I just need to memorize your scent, if that makes sense.
Sure. And she like is giving you this purple scarf, but is just looking at Weldor of like, are you sure about these people? Like, I am concerned.
He's not even saying anything. He's just nodding.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Theodora clocks this look and it's just like, I don't mean to be rude, but you want our help, right?
I do, but it was just more in line of the question. That's all.
Right.
That's all.
He was quite forward.
Well, I apologize if
feel
that
like-
sounded rude.
What is the point of beating around the bush about something?
No, I apologize. It's coming across a bit different than I actually intended, and obviously I understand that intent doesn't matter, impact is more important. But shut the fuck up.
Your Jordan is showing. Your Jordan is showing right now.
Anyways, no, it was just more so I appreciate the fact that you can just cut right into the problem and attack that. It was more so I was surprised by the question. I had just met all y'all. It hasn't even been 10 minutes. And now all of a sudden you asking to smell me? We in a tavern, okay? There's some weird questions that can come out of that. So that's all. It was more so shock. That's all.
Well, I come from a different place too, so that's not really weird where I come from, but I understand that. And I just turn into a dire wolf in this little room, and I start smelling the.
I fucking smell her. Just to get.
Fucking got him, boys.
Got her.
She's just looking horrified at Weldor of who the hell.
It's they're very familiar to me.
Right.
Not their scent, their demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
I told you some stories.
So I just turn into a dire wolf and see if I can memorize the scent of this person.
Okay. Go ahead and roll investigation, survival, or perception. I will let you choose.
Investigation, survival,
Or perception.
or perception. I'll do survival.
And
Can I
Sparky
have
get the help
advantage?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because Sparky's gonna do the same thing and help.
I also
Hey.
loved perfectly
Got
timed.
it.
As you said that, I heard a barking in the background, so that was
Yep,
perfectly
that's
timed.
my son. My son is saying hello.
Okay.
And don't forget your D4.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. 17.
Okay. Yeah, you think you've got the scent locked in?
And I just turn back into Toby and thank you.
Right, no problem. Sounds good.
Don't forget your tea.
Yeah. And you can see there's a slight shake in her hand as she takes the tea cup and sips. There's no notable change to begin
She's sitting right now?
Yeah, she's been sitting. She has
Okay.
not moved. You can see like the effort of her just pulling her hair back to show all of you. Like those markings took a lot out of her.
What does the tea smell like?
What does it smell like, Duval?
It probably smells initially pretty gross, considering we're talking about spider carcass, like dust, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But he probably would have added a little bit of allspice berries to it, just to sort of take the edge off.
Theodora can absolutely, there goes my dog. Theodora can absolutely smell the stank nasty underneath the sweetness that you tried to put in there, and is like trying not to. Sorry, he's
No,
barking
you're
in
good.
his sleep right now.
Sparky is
Oh my god, that's so
Oh.
cute. Oh,
He's-
Jesus. They don't even hear each other. How is this happening?
Well, he's sleeping. He's just
Yeah.
barking in his sleep right now.
Yeah. Cooper's like,
but
there's someone in the backyard, and there's no one in the backyard.
Oh my. Yeah, I think Theodora absolutely smells like the stank nasty. Sparky does too, and they're just like, like this is gross.
Well, it's definitely interesting. I'll say that, Weldor. Not one of
Probably
my
down.
favorites by you.
That's 1 out of 135.
That's true. I'll see what more info I can get, but you're more than welcome to show them around. You have clearance if you want to go and do some investigation. I obviously just asked you to be discreet. As you can imagine, we have a lot of folks that are just a bit on edge.
So, if this works, we're gonna need to gather everyone and maybe see if they can drink this as a preventative measure.
Sure.
So, I'm gonna probably head home and get to work on mass production.
Sure. Can you turn your mic up a bit, Duval? You got very quiet.
Mass production.
There we go.
Should one of us stay here with her, with you?
I'll come meet y'all. From what we can tell, at least the disappearances have been happening in the evening. So, it's the afternoon for right now. But we can definitely meet up as it gets to the evening. I should be good, but it's usually about 2 or 3 days after that people go missing. So, I'm still within that window, not quite there yet. But if you get any sign of Kimura, just let me know.
Absolutely. Did she say anything before she disappeared?
No. She was humming, though.
Humming?
Humming.
What was she humming?
Yeah, it's strange. I can picture her humming, but I can't quite catch the tune. But she was doing
Have I heard
non-
this humming
I'm sorry?
before? Have I heard like reports of people humming before they disappeared?
Towards the tail end, before you disappeared. Before you left. That was...
Okay.
You weren't sure if necessarily it was a new symptom or if just an anomaly.
Right. Like Theodore said, patterns.
leave the village to all y'all. Like I said, just be discreet. You better stop by Ignacio. You know he's been a absolute worried wreck.
He knows I'm bad.
Does he?
Actually, I don't really know.
That's true.
I said it pretty loud.
Oh, listen, you gotta speak louder with Ignacio because his head's so big with that hat, he doesn't always hear everybody else. He's an interesting person.
Yeah, we'll stop by.
I would like to meet this Ignacio.
I think afterwards I'll head to the guard tower, because I don't know if I can really help you with your mass production.
That's fair. Toby, what about you?
I think we might need to set a camp around here so we can keep an eye on if what was their name? I'll say.
Camera?
Or
Eliza.
Eliza.
You can stay in one of the houses. You don't have to set up like a tent and all that.
Right. And I've got a bit of room, not too much, but
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do that. But for now, I'll just. Do you mind if I accompany you, Walter?
I don't mind at all.
All right.
All right. And as she ushers you all to the door, you can see she's kind of collapses slightly in her chair. Just the strain of the information. Meeting old friends and potentially new. She's unsure.
As Waldor leaves,
Sure.
Every last drop, and points to the cup.
She just gives you the middle finger as she's sipping.
I don't believe I deserve that this time.
I think you did.
I miss you too.
Mm-hmm. And you all head upstairs, or not upstairs rather, out of the meeting room, back into the tavern, ready to do your things. The camera is going to pan outside of Vybrin for a moment. Watching from a hilltop, further away, we see the back of a black-robed individual. Watching the village. Next to it, a much larger creature is kind of lumbering. Hopefully this next one will do it. You know to move carefully. And there's kind of this slight grunting noise as it begins lumbering forward. And that is where we're going to take our break for this week.
Fireball.
All right. Yeah. Oh yes, that delayed blast fireball I've been holding on to.
Power word kill. Power word kill. Power word kill.
Lord.
You have 3 ninth level spells?
I have 10 ninth level spells.
Oh,
Thank you so
damn.
much.
Sure,
And I have enough sorcery points to get those spell slots back.
Sure.
Hey.
Thank you all so much for hanging out today. Hate to be brief, I have to run because I have to go get ready to run production for CB's show. So
Yeah.
come and hang out over there. But y'all, you did so good today. I'm so proud of you.
Hell
so
yeah.
so good. But we are gonna.
I'm so glad I connected the dots finally.
Yep. Things are coming together very slowly. But we are gonna get out of here, y'all. Thank you so much. We'll be back here next week for episode 25 of Ampistrano. Please go and support these incredible creators. Make sure that you take time for yourself, and we'll see you next time beyond the veil of Ampistrano.
Bye.